In 2010 alone, diabetes was mentioned as a cause of death in over 234,000 death certificates. Many experts say that this is not an accurate count, and they feel like diabetes is actually the cause of a lot more deaths every year than we are led to believe. Um, I'm going to talk a little bit about the different types of diabetes that a person can receive. The first one is type 1 diabetes. This is a type that usually people get when they're kids, and it is the more aggressive um, type. And the reason why it's more aggressive is because, it doesn't really matter what a person did as far as their diet or exercise. It just, the disease was in them, and usually they have it for life, and they are insulin dependent. It is a scary thing as a parent to have a child um, that gets the disease, and you have to monitor everything they do. Type 2 diabetes is the more common type. Usually it is due to being overweight, lack of exercise, a poor diet. Those things add up over the years. And usually when a person reaches their 30s, that is when the diabetes, usually is, it takes over. Um, it is actually being found that more people, even in their 20s or teens, especially in America, are getting type 2 diabetes just because of, the lack of exercise in today's society and the poor food choices that we make. Um, it's a sad fact, but the good thing about type 2 diabetes is it can be prevented and it can uh, be fought. You do not have to be insulin dependent. It's just a matter of making the right health choices. I have an illustration right here. It's just a picture of someone checking their blood sugar. This meter, you have to prick your finger, get a little blood in the meter, then checks the sugar for you. And some of these newer meters are actually a lot nicer than the older ones. They're faster, a little less painful from what I understand. But just the fact that a person has to do that every day, multiple times a day, that would be mentally exhausting, constantly thinking of your blood sugar or your blood glucose. Um, the disease is extremely aggressive, but it is something that a person can take control of, at least the type 2 diabetes. According to the Diabetes Research Institute Foundation, treatment focuses on diet and exercise. If blood sugar levels are still high, oral medications are used to help the body use its own insulin more efficiently. In some cases, insulin injections are necessary. Insulin injections would not be fun for anybody to have to inject yourself with a syringe full of insulin just to keep yourself in balance through your daily routine. That's the last thing that a person wants to worry about. You have enough going on in your life. No one wants that extra burden of checking their blood sugar and pumping insulin into them constantly. Next, I will talk about the lifestyle that a person is forced to live once they are diagnosed with the disease. Once a person has type 1 or type 2 diabetes, there are a lot of foods they cannot eat. And if they do decide to eat them, it is in extremely small portions. Sugars, carbohydrates, those things are almost eliminated. It's a strict diet. It's a diet that actually most people should be on anyway, but you're kind of forced now to live by that diet once you're diagnosed with the disease. HelpGuide.org says eating right is vital if you're trying to prevent or control diabetes. While exercise is also important, what you eat has the biggest impact when it comes to weight loss. A diabetes diet is simply a healthy eating plan that is high in nutrients, low in fat and added sugar, and moderate in calories. it is a healthy diet for anyone. If you're ever trying to avoid getting the disease, uh, by living a diabetic's life as far as their diet goes, that would completely prevent it. Um, Exercise and the diet alone, uh, a person who is not prone to the disease from genetics should be okay. If diabetes is not under control, then it leaves a person vulnerable to many organs failing due to their job not functioning properly. Heart and blood vessels, kidneys, eyes, nerves, and many more suffer from the disease. A lot of people suffer from blindness, amputated limbs. The list goes on and on. Diabetic comas even have happened from someone's blood sugar going through the roof, strokes, heart attacks. This disease is something that a lot of people are aware of, that it is out there, but not a lot of people know the impact until it really hits at home with them or their family. I want to wrap things up. I went over the types of diabetes, the lifestyle changes, and more or less what you can do to prevent the disease. But without proper knowledge of diabetes, people are more prone to become another victim and another statistic. It's up to this generation to teach the younger generation coming after us how serious the disease is and how we can prevent it.